why are we here today? To talk about LinkedIn. Let's just start with a quick poll. How many of you have a Facebook account? Okay, all right, figures. How many use Facebook, say at least once or twice a week? I know even Pam goes on Sunday nights, right? Okay. Then, how many of you have the app on your phone? Probably most people. Okay, this is kind of what I expected. Now, LinkedIn. How many of you have a LinkedIn account? Very interesting. How many of you go on LinkedIn at least once a week? That is a cool response. And then how many of you have the app on your phone and use the app? Holy cow, this is going to make my talk so much easier because you may have noticed there is nothing up there. I've been in this room many times and I thought, how is Tim way back there in the back going to even see what's on the screen? So I'm taking a risk here. I'm going to have you pull out your phone. I'm serious. I might go into my Wisconsin accent just for a moment there. Pull out your phone and open it up and get your LinkedIn app going. Now, while you're doing that, let's just think about why are we on LinkedIn? We don't see the cat videos, we don't see the travel pictures, we don't see when the dog is sick, or like my husband's been sick. A lot of people ask me, how is he doing? He is doing a lot better, for those of you, many of you are friends of mine on LinkedIn. Well, at any rate, which is, okay, that's the way it should be. Let's face it though, LinkedIn can be boring, right? Really boring. Who goes there for fun? No. And Pam and I talked briefly. People go there to learn about other people, to check, to vet them. Ever Google somebody, and have you noticed the LinkedIn profile is going to be in the top 5 listings? I promise you, it will be. So if you feel your LinkedIn profile is not showcasing you well, you're in deep doo-doo, right? Because people are looking you up. So that's why it's so important. And then LinkedIn, in my opinion, more than any other site, is a place that you can showcase your knowledge, whatever it might be, whether it's financial, whether it's printing and promotion, whether it's chambers of commerce, whether it's construction, whatever your business is, you can showcase that. You can do so many things. You can have links to your websites, links to videos. You can have articles that you write. There's so many things. And most importantly, I think that's how we stay connected with our fellow business professionals. So I would say if you get there, and this is where I'm going to suggest, we're going to do this a little later, but because I'm kind of selfish, would you type in Joyce Feustel? Now you know how to spell it because it's on your handout. 45 years, April Fool's Day, I've had that name. And it's really cool because it rhymes, if you say it right. And there's only 2 Joyce Feustels in the whole United States of America. Who would have thought in 1972 that my SEO, I was making a good decision just on search engine optimization? Oh my gosh, just blows my mind. So anyway, if you find Joyce Feustel there in the search box of your app, and then you pull up my profile, now you'll notice there'll be 3 little dots. Probably I'm connected to half this room, but if you're not connected with me, you'll see 3 little dots. Click on those 3 little dots, and then try that later with someone you're not connected to. And there it will say, personalize the invite. So this is a teacher in me. I did briefly have a fling with public school teaching, and it wasn't a fit for me because I'm not structured enough for that world. But at any rate, what happens, this is your assignment, is I want you to write me a note, even if it's, I like that color on you, or you're funny, or can you talk a little slower, Joyce? I don't know, whatever you want to tell me. So send me a message and personalize that invite, and I can help you afterwards if you're struggling. But especially if you're sending an invite to an older person, I'll just pick 50 or early 50s and hit the boomers. They like those invites. Maybe you younger ones like Annie here, she's like, no, I'm fine. Just like, it's like Twitter, whatever, Facebook, just friend me. Well, who in the heck are you, Annie? Anyway, there's a lot of beautiful girls with short, long blonde hair. I don't recognize you. All right. Now, here's the thing. We can't really do this, but I'm going to tell you about it. Take this home and open up your computer. Have you noticed that LinkedIn looks different on your computer, right? And it's frustrating. It's like moved your cheese. I mean, it pisses me off, but then I think, wait a minute, that's job security, Joyce. Let's have a better attitude. And it looks like your mobile phone. I'm sure LinkedIn thought that through. Maybe Microsoft told them that's what they should do because, that's who owns LinkedIn now. Interesting. So they've made the display different so when you go across the top on your screen, some things will look different. They've merged together where the pending invites used to be to your network, and actually it's much better. So I like how it looks there. The notifications are much easier to find and to read. So I say if you do nothing else when you do all that checking in on LinkedIn, check your notifications. See who's endorsed you, thank them. Make always sure if you've written a post or even an update and people are commenting on it, don't get behind like I did the other day, about 3 or 4 days behind, and all these people had made a comment. I hadn't said peeps, anything to them. So that's embarrassing. So try to stay as up to date as you can. The other thing that I think is really good is when you go on your computer, it's easier to find the Help Center and privacy and settings. Maybe you have an email address on your LinkedIn account you don't even use anymore. Maybe, I'm going to pick on Annie for a minute. So she's been on LinkedIn with her Gmail address, but does she have her West Chamber email address as her primary email on LinkedIn? Check that out. Because I've run into where I've got a business card from somebody, and it says, of course, their West Chamber or whatever it is. I go to connect with them, and it triggered a whole nother account because they didn't have that new business email associated with their LinkedIn. They never thought about that. But if you're still on your phone, I hope, with your LinkedIn app, you haven't been like wandering, right? I see a lot of eyes up on me, that's good. All right, but go to your profile. How do you go to your profile? There's a little tiny picture of you up in the top left, and then you look over to the right, and there's a little rotary icon. Click on that, and that's how you get to all your settings. It says right at the top, account, privacy, and communication. So really, you can do quite a bit from your phone. I mean, personally, I like to do more of that kind of stuff from my computer, but I think you can do a lot from your phone. So in your profile itself, things look different. Here's the biggest difference, you guys, the summary. The summary, before, when someone found you on the computer, they'd see your whole summary. Now they only see the first 2 sentences. Well, about 255 characters, I've heard. And on the phone, they see maybe half of that. So you better lead off with a punchy first line or 2. I have a new client referred to me by Rachel Reyes from a group I'm in. You know her, a mortgage person, entrepreneurs, my group I'm in with Dana and Marcy and others. Lee's back there. Anyway, he said, when I retired from the Air Force in 1986, like, who cares? I mean, really, I don't care that you were in the Air Force and when it was. This isn't your life story here, Bruce, So the point is you want to lead up. I'm a reverse mortgage specialist, and I help older people's lives be better because they stay in their home. I mean, he has a beautiful mission statement all on his website. I had to help him reorder it. And then similarly with a headline, do you know the default of LinkedIn? And I guess it's because they think everybody has jobs. I don't know why. What they do, they take your position title from your company, your entity you're with, and that default then becomes your headline. Again, boring. Because when you have your own business, take Jody, she may be the owner of, tell me your company name.
Jody O. Golden.
Jody O. Golden. Bad example, right? Or Baskets K would be Colorado Dream Baskets. So she could say owner, but she could say all the products made in Colorado, gifts, whatever other terminology. She could do special events. You could have keywords in there that go up to 120 characters. So therefore, you want to think if you have a tagline, if you have keywords, put that in your headline. So that's just a general tip. The other thing that's different on the computer, and just again, keeps this from when you go home, it's much easier to know how to update your profile because there's a little button that says, add profile section. And then they have the contact. This is so funny. They used to have contact info like kind of right under where your headline is with a little Rolodex card. I mean, what have you seen one at your grandma's house maybe, right? Have you ever had a Rolodex card like that you own? I mean, it's so cute. So LinkedIn dropped the Rolodex card, right? And now they have it all over on the right-hand side, contact information. So it's much better, much better. Then, this threw me at first, but they combined several sections, all under accomplishments. But then I thought that's how they've always done it on the phone app. So again, it mirrors what you see there. So if you think, wait a minute, where's my listing with the West Chamber of Commerce? It's there. It's just tucked under that larger heading. Now, a lot of times, people go on LinkedIn and they never say anything. Really. I mean, there you are, chatty Cathy away on Facebook, put up a post at least once a day. Even Jim, I see him on a regular basis, right? So what's about LinkedIn? Were you scared to say something? I have a little, okay, very gratuitous request here. Go onto your LinkedIn, go into Home, if you still have that open, go into Home. And when you go into Home, and up at the top, it'll say share an article or a post or an idea. So if you click on that, it's like doing a Facebook update, right? So you go in there and you say, learning so much about LinkedIn. You see where I'm going with this? From @ Joyce, Joyce, space FEUSTEL, at the Women's Chamber, not Women's Chamber, I'm saying Women in Business of the West Chamber. I confuse my chambers. So something like that.
I'm doing that, right?
Oh, see, I love it when people pay attention. Why am I saying this? Just for practice, right? So have other people do that for you. What have I done? If I were doing this for you, I've given great PR to Joyce. I show that I'm up early in the morning learning something. Wouldn't that impress people, just for starters? And also, you PR the host, the West Chamber, Women in Business. They'll maybe get a whole nother 2 tables filled next time. So think how easy that is and how much people appreciate that. Just simple things like that. But then, if you want to go deep, and I'll pick on Roxanne for a minute, who I know is super knowledgeable about chiropractic, especially pregnant ladies. That's why the other chiropractor was pregnant, sits with her, so they exchange tips right away. At any rate, so she could put together a blog post. How many of you already do some sort of blogging or articles, newsletters, right? Well, you know what you could do is take those articles and then repurpose them, write them a little bit differently, different headline, or just do it from scratch on LinkedIn. And you can publish that on LinkedIn. It's called an article, sometimes a post. And that's longer, like usually 300 or 500 words, somewhere in there. And you could put a video in there, a visual. And the nice thing about those articles, they live on your profile. And those of you that found my profile, if you look at it, you'll look down and you'll see a little picture. I put something up last night. It should be a picture that says, make a good first impression. So when you scroll down on my profile, you'll see that. So all those articles live forever on your profile and help you with your personal brand. Also, your peeps are notified that you wrote an article. To the extent they're tracking with you, but some will. They aren't notified that you put up an update. That's very random, just like Facebook can be random, what we see in our newsfeed. But the articles, that's an intentional kind of thing. I said, is there somebody who could take, somebody's taking a picture. Please take a picture. If you're doing that, I would appreciate it because I didn't plan ahead. Oh, yes, my assigned, yes. This is my assigned PR lady. Thank you. Yes, yeah, right. I'm so famous. So my fans from the back and everything, right? So lovely to have a following. So the final thing I want to talk to, we still have some time, and then we have questions. I'm sure we'll have time for questions. Think about the ways you can use LinkedIn for an event like this. You could, if you can't always do this, but if you know in advance who's coming, then look those names up. On Meetup, we can always do this, right? Now, we know everybody that comes isn't necessarily on that Meetup, but many people will come from the Meetup. So you look up their names, then you look them up in LinkedIn. So you can come up and start talking to them like, Pam, that's so cool you're at the West Chamber now. Before you were at this other job. That is so interesting. So what is she, stalking me? No, I'm researching Pam to find out about her. And it impresses people. Or let's say where's Christina? Wait, Christine, I'm calling you Christina. Because, right, there she is. So maybe I didn't know she was coming, but she let me know. Because I've been begging people to come. How do you think so many people are here? No, so I looked her up and so I said, let's make sure we sit together. I mean, not that I'm not presenting. So that way you connect to people ahead of time. And then while you're here, heck, you could even, during that little 5-minute time, and someone says, just like earlier today, where's Linda Passari? Linda says, there she's right in front of me. I need one of those name tags. I said, well, Dana's right over here. But say Dana wasn't so close. She was way in the corner there. So then I could say, well, listen, here, I'm going to just show you her LinkedIn profile, and here's her email address from there. I mean, I have her probably in my contacts, but let's say I didn't. Now you help her out right on the spot. Or you could just send somebody, hopefully you sent me or other people you've met already, a LinkedIn invite with that personalized note. So you can do that right in the moment. And I do that kind of thing all the time when I'm one-to-one with people. Heck, yesterday, me and this lady, we were just back and forth using mostly our LinkedIn app, not so much our contacts, for giving tips for each other. And then after the event, I know a lot of people send out an email, and that's fine. What I do is I start with LinkedIn. It's just so efficient. So I send a whole bunch of LinkedIn invites. I would say a whole bunch. Strategically, I'll send out my LinkedIn invites. And then if there's someone I really wanted to meet that I didn't get a chance to hear back from them, maybe they don't do LinkedIn that much, then I'll call them or I email them. But I think, because I will say selfishly again, because what I do, I want them to go to my LinkedIn profile and see my profile and see my articles. But even if you aren't a social media tutor or trainer, it's still a good way to approach it. And then be on the alert for people that have sent you an invite, because you don't want them thinking, well, I wonder if we had such a nice chat and Joyce she doesn't like me, I don't know what's up, why she didn't respond to my invite. So just stay on top of that. So now is a good time to take some questions.
In Facebook, you have a place where you can create an event, then you can go to your contacts and invite them to the event. Does LinkedIn have that feature?
LinkedIn used to have events, but they don't have events anymore. Good question, yeah. Other questions? Yeah. Stand up, please, yeah.
Do you have a recommendation, so if I post something on Instagram, I can click the Facebook button so it shares it between them, but I know there's apps like Hootsuite or whatever. Are there any that include LinkedIn?
Oh, yeah. Hootsuite, she's asking about social media management tools. Maybe some of you use them, like Hootsuite, Buffer. And what you do, you have a message, as she's saying, you want to send out across different platforms. And then, LinkedIn is included in those. And you can tailor the message as, the wording, and when you're putting it out per different social site. Yeah.
Is there an app you recommend?
I think you just trial. I've heard good things about Hootsuite and Buffer. I'll confess that I don't do much with any site but Facebook and LinkedIn. So I just manually post to the two. That's what I do. Yeah. What do you think, Susie?
I think Hootsuite's very easy.
Is it good?
And it's intuitive to use. You don't need a lot of instruction.
Thank you. Yeah, so Hootsuite, I think. And they have like Hootsuite University and tutorials, Go ahead, Ann, did you have a question?
LinkedIn has where you can upgrade to different levels. And what's the advantage, or is there an advantage to doing that?
I planted her here. No, I didn't. No, because I get that question a lot, and I just did a video on that. I'm so excited. Speaking of webinars, as I step up into I have my own videographer I brought. That's when you know you've hit the big time. You got your videographer. Because she's worth every penny. Trust me, she's awesome. Erica Jaffe, right back there, if you want to get her card. Well, if you're a job seeker, which probably wouldn't apply to most of you, there is the job seeker, they call it career, it's $30 a month. And the advantage with any of them, even the minimum account, you can see 90 days back who's looked at your account. So that might be worth it. Also, you can send a certain number of messages within LinkedIn to these people you're not connected to. They call them in-mails. The Business Plus is $60 a month, and it has more features. I'm not so quite connected yet to their Sales Navigator, which I'm trying to understand. It seems hard, but I gotta get my arms around it. And there's Business Plus, and the word on the block is some of the features of the $60 a month have been taken away, and you have to go up to $80 a month. And what does that mean? The search features. I don't know, of course, all of you in the room, but if you do a lot of business development, which actually, Ann, you would be in your work, and you really spend time looking for business or referral partners on LinkedIn, it might behoove you to at least try. You can have a free trial of those for a month and see what you think. But you can really drill down. So if, like Tim, I'll use him in the back as a financial guy, if he's looking to connect with people who've, C-level people, been there 5 years or more, certain industries, what they call the filters, they're very robust when you pay money to LinkedIn. But you still can do a search. I know because I have plenty of clients with free accounts, and I had a free account until just like last month, that you can do some searching within LinkedIn. So I think a lot of it is like seeing people. Yeah, go ahead.
You talked about that you can only see the first sentence pictures on the profile.
Right.
So with the free membership, is there a way that I can view somebody's full profile, or do I now need to pay the subscription to look at that?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked it like that. I don't want to, I'm misleading, afraid I did. When you see those first 2 lines, all you click on is see more, or click on the lines. We can always look at everyone's profile. If they're, this is where I have to take that back a minute. If they're at least no more than 2 people away. So say I'm connected to Debbie. Have you accepted my invite? We have to talk. Right, no, I'm just teasing you, right? I think you did. I just give you a hard time. And then Debbie's connected to Sheila. So you're my first connection, you're my second connection, and I should remember your name, ma'am, because you're so Susie. Who could forget Susie? I know your face. So you're my first level, you're my second level, because we share Debbie, and Susie's connected to you. So now I think I can see as far back, at least as Susie, as the third level. But when you really want to get deeper into reviewing these people, you find if they're beyond that, or maybe beyond being in a group with you, then I don't believe you can see them with a free account. Their full profile, yeah. So that's kind of a complex answer to your question. Yeah, Pam, thank you for standing.
So on Facebook, if you make mistakes, you can edit. When you edit on LinkedIn.
Oh, it's so annoying. When will LinkedIn allow that feature? It is so stupid. Don't get my dander up. It's so ridiculous. No, you cannot edit, so then you have to delete and do it again. Yeah.
I already got liked by Melissa.
Yeah, right. I think people understand. Do we have time for a couple more questions? Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm using, or why would I use LinkedIn if my main goal is marketing and getting new customers? So not networking per se, but just getting more customers.
What kind of company do you have?
A meal delivery service.
You deliver, a meal delivery
Yeah.
service.
So, I mean, like when I was an interior designer, I used it all the time, but for something where you're trying to market more than network.
Well, it depends. Okay, so the question is, why use LinkedIn why use it? Does it make sense to market your services on LinkedIn? It really depends who your customers are. So when I think marketing, I think of at least 2 different groups. I think of my end user, which of course in my world, naturally I would use LinkedIn. But when I have a meal service as a business to consumer, those people are likely not going to be finding me on LinkedIn. So I wouldn't put a lot of effort into it. Right. That said, let's say a social worker or a nurse or someone else who engages in families in need is somebody that refers business to you, okay? We can make, so that's where I'm thinking. It wouldn't be direct marketing to the end user, but building up those relationships with your referral people. Because let's face it, we're going to have friends on Facebook with all those folks. I mean, that'd be weird, right? Even if you are, when you get to know them well. So what I like about LinkedIn is such a safe environment, it's so appropriate. And then you keep nurturing those, the work anniversaries come up, all of that. You stay top of mind with them. Yeah.
LinkedIn, just because they're looking for an accountant.
Wow, so she's saying she actually got business looking for an accountant through LinkedIn. So for some of us, and I certainly have, but then again, that's my world, yeah. So Pam, do you have another question? Yeah.
I think LinkedIn is now becoming kind of the new professional dating site. Do any other women run into this seriously? Okay, people are nodding. I stopped. I don't know you personally, even if you are a first connection with somebody that I know, if you don't make sense that you could be a chamber member or you could be connected to a chamber, because I had somebody who was a first connection with another first connection out at Jefferson County Human Services, a good friend of mine. Bizarre. Just be very careful, because I think it's becoming something a little different, and as a woman, you need to watch it.
Okay, I'll give you some tips on that. It's a really good point. I'll never forget the time, and this will be in my last story, this guy from Kuwait, kind of cute, I'll admit, I'm married, as you know, but kind of cute, military, didn't have any connections in Kuwait. I thought, I'll have my first Kuwait connection. So I accepted his connection. I should have noticed that all his other connections were women. So the next thing I know, this guy's like, let's get on Yahoo Messenger and chat. I'm like, what? What have I done? I was like, oh my God. So I blocked him and reported him. If you have people that hit on you, block these people and report them to LinkedIn. They will they will take their account away, I'll bet. They get that kind of thing, right? So that's the first thing. The other thing to say, and this is more across the board, this is my favorite little line. I'm from the Midwest, I'm direct. So let's say Larry here, I'll pick on him because he's my friend. So he sends me an invite on LinkedIn. And I think, oh, he looks kind of familiar. I'm trying to remember where I knew him from. Oh, maybe it was Toastmasters. I see a lot of Toastmaster connections. So what I do is I'll write, thank you for, okay, this is how you do it. Listen up and make a note. I don't think you can do this on your phone, but I know how to do it on the computer. So when you're on the computer and you see those pending invites and there's Larry's, right above it says manage all, manage all. You click on manage all. Now I can write a message to Larry without bringing him into my LinkedIn connections. Ooh, right, that was worth the whole price of admission, getting up early. So you say, manage all, you write, hi Larry, or thanks for the invite, Larry. What prompted you to reach out to me? What prompted you to reach out to me? Now, if you see a connection, I see we have a lot of shared connections in the chamber, Toastmasters, whatever. Do I know you from Toastmasters? I'm just not connecting the dots or something like that. And it's okay to feel then they write back, well, I was at your talk last Tuesday morning and I thought you'd recognize me, but, just that's okay. But at any rate, so that's what I do, Pam, as a general protection, if I have any question, if I don't know that person. Okay, does that help a little? I'm really glad you brought that up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and there's more than one gentlemen, men, yeah. So fun to have such a great group here. I've been looking forward to this for months. We booked this a long time ago, practiced it. It came out to 20 minutes, Toastmasters. I hope you see that I really did my job. I got a little, got a thumbs up back there in that crowd. So I hope now you'll use LinkedIn more. I already had a pretty warm audience who was using it. Use it on your phone. Just use it more and more and more, and it really will pay off, I promise you. So thanks so much, guys.